Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of 12-inch Figure Fanatic. Remember to subscribe. So we're able to get one last video in before Christmas. This came pretty quickly from SIDESHOW. This is their re-release of the Beetlejuice from the original film. So around the same time, they've released two figures. One is the re-release of the original, which has now rooted hair. I think that's the only difference. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison because I have the original where the hair was sculpted, and we're going to see if there's any other refinements that have been improved. But then they also released at the same time the Beetlejuice from the sequel film that was out recently. And there's really no difference. I mean, he's still wearing the same striped suit. Maybe the face is aged a little bit, but then again, with all the makeup on, you can't really tell. So once again, just an excuse for Hot Toys to make more money. But let's crack this thing open and see what we got here. All right, so I don't know. The jury's still out about whether the sequel met expectations. I think it's, people are always very critical of sequels because they anticipate that it's going to be worse than the original. And to me, I do like the original better, but I thought the sequel wasn't too bad. Anyways, one of the things that I'm noticing off the bat that I love about this, and I think I did an unboxing recently where it was the same concept, is it looks like a VHS tape box. It says comedy at the top here. It's got the logo, the title. It has the lip here for pulling out what would be the VHS tape, and it's got this sort of sticker effect right here. These aren't real stickers, it's printed. So it looks like it'd be sitting on a shelf at the Blockbuster. So I really like that. Even the back, it looks, I think, similar to what the description of the movie was. So when you pull it out, let's see. So it's just a slip, and then we've got Beetlejuice right here. Here lies Beetlejuice. That's pretty much it. This is new. Product portal. So maybe instead of doing printed instruction sheets now, they just have that so that you can read about it on your phone or your computer. All right. So right off the bat, I'm not noticing too much of a difference from the original figure. Obviously, the major difference here is that the hair is now sculpted. So it takes some styling, I think. You might actually want to use some product to get the effect that you want. But I like it. It's got like sort of this blonde base, but the dyed-in green as well, and it blends decently. The hairline blends decently with the sculpt, but not as well as if it was rooted by hand, very precision based. What you would usually pay a service $200 to $250 to do for your head sculpt. This is an economy version, if you will. So not much has changed in the way of the hand sculpts, I think, from the original. But I do like how they kept the styling of the body. There's some padding here to make it puff out a little bit. His body was a little overweight in the film. And I don't know, did his suit look that crisp? I thought it was a little dirty, but because this one doesn't have any weathering to it at all. Only on the shirt underneath there's weathering. There's some dyed effect, and the shoes are nicely weathered, and even though the laces are sculpted as well, it does look very authentic. So when done right, I prefer the sculpted laces versus real ones, because real ones just tend to look a little too messy. The bow kind of fans out in ways that you don't like. So I think they did a real good job with that. They even have the little flap here on the bottom. So let's see what else we got here. So we got the hand with the nail file. Iconic. Got the Book of the Deceased, and it is just a single sculpt. They could have done better with the pages. It just looks, yeah, it's just solid in there. They didn't even do any lines, sculpt any lines in there to make it look like pages. And so it's a single sculpt. It's got the sticker on top to look like the cover. That it? Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. All right, and we got the base. So Hot Toys has been doing this a lot lately. It's just sort of this subdued Beetlejuice on here. I really hate it because you've got to have either be looking in the right way or have the light shining in the right way to be able to make out the logo on here versus their old style where they would have a nameplate and then an obvious sticker with the colorful photo and logo. So, and standard plug and play base. Okay, nice enough. Several hand options. And the original came with a lot of hand options too. They did a good job at the ring as well. So it's got a nice gloss effect on that ring. So let's set this all up. That's pretty much it. We'll do a side-by-side with the original Sideshow one and see which one comes out on top. All right, so here's the two figures side by side. One thing you'll notice is there's a huge difference in the head sculpts. So right off the bat, the expression is different. The original one, it's sort of this shocked look, and the eyes are a lot more bold, the way they contrast with the makeup around the eyes. And then the new one, it's just sort of this smirk look. I think I do like the expression on the new one versus the old one, where it kind of just looks like he was surprised by somebody's putting a thumb up his butt. So there is a huge difference in the detailing on the makeup as well. So they were able to blend a little bit better because the hair was sculpted. It's blended in this sort of this moldy look on his head, around his head. Here, there's a huge contrast between the two, and it's kind of sloppy. You can see a definite separation line between the hair and the sculpt. I might actually go in there and touch it up a bit with some self-hardening clay and then paint over it to cover that up a little bit. But the line goes all the way around. Bad seam there. There is a little bit better likeness, I think, in the new sculpt. You could tell both of them are Michael Keaton, but this one, the head's a little bit more round, and this one I think is more accurate. There's a difference in the quality of the paint on the hands as well. So this one's kind of basic, pinkish, and there's not as much layering. This one definitely improved. There's a difference in the quality of the tie. I think this one is shaped a little bit better. This one looks a little cheap and it doesn't fan out as much. As far as the body type goes, the original one does look a little bit heavier, but I think that the new one is more accurate as far as the weight look goes. Now, the boots are the exact same mold from the original. They didn't do anything differently, and the paint work is almost identical as well. So, not much to say about that. Yeah. Overall, man, I mean, oh, I forgot to mention the books here. So they went with quite a difference in the style of book. So here's the original one and the new one. First of all, difference in size, difference in color, difference in how much the printing pops out, and also on the new one, the print of the image here, it's a little blurry, like they took a Xerox of a Xerox and printed it on, versus this one where there's a lot of good definition there. The quality of the pages. So this one, once again, doesn't do any lines, but I think they do a good job at weathering it at least. This one just looks a little too fresh, a little too bland and plain. Also worthy of noting, I got this off of Etsy. The artist no longer does work on Etsy, but it is a handmade version with pages, which I think is real nice, and it's readable. The only problem with this is it is a little too thin, right? The thickness should be about like that. So every one of these has their strengths and weaknesses. If I had to choose one, I'd probably say the new one, just because of the only thing I would have to do is use a wash on this a little bit to weather it, and then I think it'd be good to go at that point. This one's too big, can't do anything about that, and this one's too thin, can't do anything about that. So overall, I'm going to keep the new one. I'm going to sell the old one. And scale of 1 to 10. The hairline, I think, is a big ding for this figure. Otherwise, I think it hits the mark. I'm going to give this one a 8.7 out of 10. I think they should have done rooted hair from the beginning, because this looks more like a hedgehog, and it just looks stupid. So I'm being glad to get rid of that one. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next time.